admiration and respect for her. And I knew that we would be friends because she says the same thing that I say when people ask why we're single. I always say I'm overqualified, and she says the same thing. And I was like, spirit animal right there. But so I wanted to introduce you all to her because she is a spark plug. She is a single mom since the age of 19. She has really built her way from debt all the way to millionaire in 3 years in doing network marketing. And I think that right now in this time of economic uncertainty, having someone talk to us who was in that same kind of uncertainty for the majority of her life, having her talk to my network will bring you probably a sense of calm, a sense of inspiration, and, hopefully it will spark some things inside of you to make you realize that you are in control of how you respond to things. All right, so I'm going to bring her on right now. Here is Kimberly. Hello.
Hello. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I am stuck in Florida. If there is a way to be stuck, I feel like it should be in sunshine next to a pool. And right now, this whole quarantine thing is, I think for some they're making the best of it, and I'm one of those people. If I have to be stuck at a
Yeah.
pool for 2 weeks, I'm somebody. Right? Like either the glass is half full or if it's half empty. You can be proactive in a situation. You can be reactive to the situation. And I'm going to choose to look at this as, well, I can work on my tan and help people that want it and speak into their lives. So,
Absolutely.
so here I am. So thank you for having me on, and thank you for those words. I appreciate it. And it's an honor to be here.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. So I wanted to kind of start this out for the women out there because, in times of whenever, if you look in history, in times of distress, the women have always stepped up. If you notice that, because I feel as though we are the ones who have to multitask on a daily basis as it is. And we have to figure things out, in many different situations, right? So we have that nurture aspect to us, but we also have that protective and scarcity mindset, in that we know that we have to do whatever it takes. And a lot of times we have to go even harder than it takes, right? So that's why I'm really excited that you're on here to talk about this, because what do you think women can do right now who may be in the same situation that you were, a single mom, you were in over $50,000 worth of debt. You were getting ready to move back in with your parents. You were in your 30s, still are, and you probably felt like you were at the end of your rope and not knowing what you could do. So if you could go into that a little bit, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, well, let me start out by saying this. Right now, there's a lot of people that, oh, I love this title, Women Are Born to Step Up. That just now popped up. I just now saw that. It's perfect. There's a lot of people right now that just had the rug ripped out from underneath them, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Small business owners, large business owners, employees, even the stay-at-home moms that used to take the kids to school every day. Everybody's life has changed. At least in the interim, it has, right? And some of them indefinitely. There's going to be this whole shift is going to affect millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I empathize with those people. There are some that are anticipating never going back to work. There are business owners that are anticipating never opening up their doors again, or wondering if they will. People wondering if they're going to have a job to go back to. Small business owners they provide 70% of America's jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of them is affected right now around the globe, not just in America, but around the globe.
Yeah.
And when there's a saying out there, and some of you have probably heard it, it's when you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And in times like this, people start to realize the reality of that statement and sometimes have a hard time receiving it, right?
Mhm.
Because maybe they've heard that before, maybe they've been offered something before to have a plan B, to plan ahead, right? And in life, we plan ahead with insurance, auto insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance, pet insurance, life insurance, but there's no such thing as, protect your bank account. There's FDIC. The banks are insured, but your money is not insured, right? Like your financial situation is not insured in the event that there is a recession, there is a pandemic, and you don't go back to work. Like, what's your plan B? You are left to step up and do that on your own.
Mhm.
And right now, there's a lot of emotional turmoil, mental turmoil that people are going through that perhaps they were not prepared for. And I was there as you had just explained. And so I went through my own personal recession, if you will, about 3 years ago. And I had a couple of months left of at least paying the bills.
Mhm.
But what I was forecasting is I'm not going to be able to pay the bills in the next 60 days. And, moving back in with my parents might have to be an option, right?
Mhm.
Because they certainly weren't going to leave me homeless. But, some people, they don't even have that, right? So
Yeah.
I was lucky to have, if it really came down to it, I could move in with somebody and it was okay. But there's a lot of people that don't have that option right now.
Right.
Millions of people that don't have that option right now. And I was unemployed at the time.
Mhm.
I had already been receiving a very small unemployment check, and we all know unemployment checks don't pay the bills
Mhm.
completely. You
Yeah.
still have to get creative. And the way I'm choosing to look at this whole situation, that's happening around the globe, this pandemic, is that there's going to be good that comes from it, right? You can choose to be proactive in this midst of when you find yourself in the midst of chaos, or
Mhm.
you can choose to be reactive and be a part of it and feel like you're swirling and spiraling out of control. And
Mhm.
when you have a foundation in your life, when you are surrounded by people that, number one, make you feel secure emotionally,
Mhm.
mentally. Number two, they know exactly where they're going and they know how to navigate storms. That's what captains of the ship do. It's what
Mhm.
eagles do, right? They use the turbulence of the storms to go higher. Not every bird is an eagle. Not every bird can fly high like an eagle. Not everybody is a born leader. A
Mhm.
lot of times people just need to have that person in their life. And that was something that I needed 3 years ago.
Mhm.
I can't say that I was a born leader. Um, I am stubborn. I've been stubborn. I am stubborn. I'm very determined. When I see something, I go after it. Is that a leadership attribute? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to let you be the one to define that. But I was forced into a situation that caused me to evolve. It forced me to reinvent myself. It forced me to get creative and think outside the box. It forced me to put on blinders and say, I'm going to do this with or without my friends. I'm
Yeah.
going to go find somebody that says yes. I'm going to go, I'm going to do this with or without like family members, so to speak, right? I'm going to do it with or without people's positive vibes, negative vibes. I'm going to do it because I have to, because I have a mouth to feed. I have
Mhm.
somebody that I need to keep a roof over their head. And I've never been a take handouts kind of person, at least on a permanent level. I can tell you when I first had my daughter, I was on Medi-Cal.
Mhm.
I did have WIC checks where, and you guys are seeing that on the news. A lot of you, that's like the first time you've ever seen that, where you can only buy certain brands of tuna. You
Mhm.
can only buy certain brands of peanut butter and certain cereals. And like, that's what I had to do. I can tell you when I was on unemployment, I was debating whether or not I should share this because I know it's going to speak to some people, but I used to donate plasma twice a week to get like $48 and like $62, like really odd dollar amounts. I'm like, that's enough to put gas in my tank. That's a gallon of milk. That's like, you would be amazed at how creative you can get in times of financial struggle. And those were things that I did. And I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. I decided that I didn't want to, while I had some peanut butter and some milk and some tuna, and I had, Medi-Cal, so my daughter was taken care of, I was still struggling. I didn't want to struggle. I didn't want to feel the pain. I didn't want to have to like go here, go there, and donate plasma, look for this done. I already had my own chaos as a single mom at 19. And so I really, really empathize with the people that, they're going through some stuff right now. But I also want to be a very firm voice for those that need one, that will provide a safe landing zone that you can trust, that has proven to work, because it worked for me. And this vehicle of home-based businesses was the answer, of network marketing was the answer for me. And I've started to notice there's two types of voices out there when it comes to what we offer. There's the individual like you and I that says, I don't ever want to feel this again. I'm going to go change my life. I'm going to go change my situation. I'm going to go be creative. Then there's the individual that says, what you're doing is wrong or evil, or you're capitalizing on people, you're taking advantage of people, and that's just not true. And here's another perspective to provide. When a physician diagnoses you with cancer and you get a prognosis, there's two types of cancer patients. They're the ones that the first type says, I'm going to beat this, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to have a positive mindset. And anybody that has ever had any kind of serious illness, especially cancer related, it will mess with your mind. They will tell you, and there's like a percentage, it's like 70%, 80%, 90%. If you're watching this and you've had cancer, please feel free to correct me on the percentage. I'm totally open to that. But they'll tell you it's like 80% mindset, it's 90% mindset most of the time in beating it. Those are the same individuals that right now they're like, okay, I'm going to change my situation. I'm going to make sure my family is taken care of. I know that there's a pandemic, but I am going to go fight financially for my future, for their future, so they never have to feel like this ever again. Same, the parallels are exactly the same. Then there's the prognosis of the cancer patient that says, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. I have, it's stage 3. I'm just, and they get depressed and they let the prognosis eat them alive. They tell people, I'm going to die. While other people around them that they're surrounded by could be encouraging them and being the voice of reason and being somebody to say, hey, like, let's do this. Let's get outside and take a walk if you can. I'll take you to your doctor's appointments. I will bring your family meals. Like, there's a support system there, but then they can't get outside of their own head and they literally wither away and they die. And those are the individuals right now that are out there in that parallel saying, that's not a solution. I don't have the time. They're panic stricken. The fear has taken over them and they're choosing to be reactive instead of proactive. And what you're also going to start to see, to kind of segue into another point, create this domino effect here, you're going to start to see, and I've been on this tangent for like this week. This is like the thing that it keeps coming back to my mind because I'm such a binary person. I'm very, it's black, it's white, it's left, it's right, it's up, it's down, it's right, it's wrong. You're my friend, you're not my friend. You're for this, you're against that. Like, it's yes or it's no, right? Like I think there's somewhere in the Bible where it says like you should be hot or you should be cold. You should never be lukewarm, right? There's confusion. There's gray area. People they don't understand where you stand. Therefore, they will never follow you. If you are lukewarm, if you are unsure, if you don't know, if you're going left, if you're going right, you're going up, you're going down, you will never have any leadership ability when you sit in the gray area. Right now, there's going to be millions of people that make decisions in their life, and there's going to be some good decisions and there's going to be some bad decisions. There's going to be decisions that feel risky. There's going to be decisions that feel like this is safe. I'm going to stay here. And either one of them will have an effect, whether it's positive or it's negative. That's what you get to wait on. That's what you have the control over. And you're going to start to see people that rise in this.
Mm-hmm.
People that have capacity, that have wisdom, that have vision, that have heart, that have strength, that have peace, that have solutions politically, religiously, in the entrepreneurship world, in the business world. You're going to start to see people bring forth their gifts. You're going to start to see them come alive because it comes from in here. Okay. If it's in here, now is the time that you're going to start to see that. All of the BS that you see of people pretending to be the it thing, guess what? They're going to be nowhere to be found. They're going to disappear. They thought their Instagram pictures were going to carry them to the high life, when really they were just hopping over fences, taking pictures next to jets to pretend to be cool. And now that those types of individuals, I'm not saying all of them are full of it. I'm saying most of them are. Most of what you see on social media is just a fake highlight reel. People only show you what you want, what they want you to see, right? And this is why we get on these lives. Is we want to have real talk. If there's anything that people need right now, it's a foundation, it's strength, it's direction, it's vision. They need somebody to go and see for them, even when they feel like they can't see for themselves. Now they're going to rely on people, and you can be that person. Yeah. A lot of you that are watching this right now have it within you to stand up and help somebody, to stand up and lead. Does it feel scary at first because it's unfamiliar? Yeah. But guess what's more scary? A pandemic where you're locked up at home for 2 weeks and now people are like, get me out. I have to do something. I have to pay my bills. I have to feed my kids. Now, what's the lesser of two evils? A pandemic or stepping out and doing something new that before you felt like you were going to be judged for or criticized for, but now everybody has to work from home. So now it starts to do this. And now it's like, wait a second. This idea doesn't sound so bad. This option before 2 weeks ago, I wasn't even considering it. I didn't even think about it, but now I can't go back to work. Maybe that's something I should consider. Yeah. Maybe that's something I should look at. Maybe Barbara was right. Maybe Carol was right. Maybe Melissa was right. And it's humbling. I remember how humbling it was for me when I started. And this isn't about, I know I already said I'm a binary person, right versus wrong, left versus right. This is not, I want people to hear my heart. This isn't about anybody being right here. This is about us helping you get out of your situation, because that's what we really want. We're not interested in being right. We're not interested in being wrong. We're interested in getting the statue. And here's what I mean by that. People will get into this industry for the money because they're struggling, because they need something, because it's an immediate, like $100 a week. It's quick. You can do it. They have the time to do it. But then there's going to be the people that say, I want something completely different for my life. I wasn't fulfilled anyway at my job. I was miserable. Now I have the chance to make a change. Now I have the time to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to a job. Maybe you don't want to. I don't know. I can tell you, I don't have a real job, and I hope I never have to, because having a job taxes you at the highest percentage, and it creates a bigger gap for you to try and get ahead financially. And that's something that we teach in our business school. We want to transform people's lives spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. If this was only about helping you make $500,000, you're going to be so unhappy. We would be so unhappy. Look at all the millionaires that go and commit suicide every day. The suicide rate's going to go up right now because of how many hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars that people are losing in the stock market, because that's where they put their faith. That's what they chased. That was their foundation. That's what they thought would solve all the problems. And now they're discovering that it doesn't. But I can tell you, I've built something personally in my life. I've helped other people do it. We help people do that as a team. And guess what? I'm as happy as a clam right now, sitting in Florida by a pool with some family, and I don't have a mortgage to worry about. I don't have a car payment to worry about. I don't have 1 ounce of debt, unsecured debt, credit card debt, student loan debt, personal debt, you name it. I don't have it.
That's
And
amazing.
what would you do? Let me ask this differently to the audience. How much would you pay for some peace right now in your life? For just peace.
Mm-hmm.
Not feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can pay the mortgage payment next month. I don't know if I can pay my rent next month. I don't know if I can, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go back to work, because what if the daycare closes down and then I don't have a daycare to send my kids to, or then I can't pay them? Then what?
Right.
And this is what we want to help people evaluate in their lives. We want to help them have vision to see 10 steps, 20 steps, 30 steps down the road.
Mm-hmm.
In leadership, you are able to navigate the storms because you're able to see what's ahead. And I can tell you, we know exactly what's ahead, and we are embracing it, and we're excited about it, because there's going to be a lot of people that win in this pandemic. There's going to be a lot of people that also lose. And that does not make me happy. I'm empathetic because I was there. I know exactly what it feels like. But entrepreneurship and business ownership thrive in a down economy. Look at all the trends. In 1987, businesses boomed. In 2008, there were businesses that closed. There were businesses that boomed. There's a article by the Huffington Post. Disney, Microsoft, Toll House, IBM, major brands either were birthed or thrived in a recession. Right now, there are companies that are winning. Walmart is one of them. Procter and Gamble with all the toilet paper and the hand sanitizer, that's another one. Uber Eats and DoorDash, skyrocketing. Zoom and online platforms like Be Live, skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing really well. There are people and companies and brands and certain industries that are thriving right now in down markets. They're on the winning side of this. They offered solutions to people, and now people are turning to those solutions. Network marketing is another one of those. And now we have how many millions of people that are at home and they can't leave, and all they have is a cell phone, maybe a computer, and the internet, and some people that need some help. And when you help people, you could have your mortgage paid. I don't understand how that's not a win-win for everybody, for those that feel like network marketers are taking advantage of people or capitalizing, because I've seen a little bit of that, and I'm here to stop that. I'm here to call you out. You are absolutely wrong. You are having a poverty mindset, and we want to help change that. We want to bring you to a place of abundance,
Mm-hmm.
that you can ride the turbulence like an eagle would and rise and soar.
Absolutely.
Or you can be the hummingbird that stays on the ground. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
I love it. Well, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people right now, they're thinking, well, I want something where I can make money right now. And that might be something I need to build over time, and that might be something that, yes, I could possibly get into, but I've never done anything like that before. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no network. So all of those things are going to get probably, blown up a little bit more in someone's mind. I mean, yes, they might think about it and consider it, but what made you, because you were able to just run and go. And I know what you did. And I mean, you were a crazy person, you were talking to everybody, calling everybody, and that's what you need to do to be successful in this.
Well, I had the time to do it because I was unemployed and I was at home. So people were like, oh my gosh, how'd you do that? I was on the phone for 12 hours a day. And guess what? There's like 200 million people that also have the ability to do that. And you can reach them because of the internet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, that's exactly the type of mindset. And, I think a lot of this comes down to people think they can get caught in thinking mode rather than action mode because they start to have all these fears about it. But
Well, thinking
Honestly,
got you to a place with a pandemic that might not allow you to pay your mortgage next month. So why don't you quit thinking and let us do the thinking for you? Because all this thinking got you where you're at in a financially binding situation.
that is absolutely true, because so many people are calculated with their steps and they think about everything before they do it. And when you do jump into this industry, it is a leap of faith in a way, a leap of faith mostly on yourself.
Yeah.
That you can take control back, and that's what I love about it, is that it offers that opportunity that, what, I'm going to see what I can do.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, you're going to fail, and yes, and that's why I love having the business school, because it is that source to build us up internally as well as our skill set. But
That's
it
right.
really builds us up to take rejection and to take no and to take failure. But I really think action is what cures fear. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't know enough, and I don't want to take action right now because they're afraid, how people are going to perceive them if they offer their help in certain areas. And I just look at it like,
Can we stop right there for a second?
yes,
I
yes.
want to park on this point for those that feel, because this is important, the ones that feel like, well, I don't know enough. What's the lesser of two evils for you right now in this moment? I don't really know anything about network marketing, or I don't know how I'm going to survive and pay my bills. Which one is the lesser of two evils to figure out, when this one already comes with a system and a plan and leadership and a community and a free business school, and it's the only business school available in network marketing, or the one that leaves you floundering and feels insecure, that can send you into depression and stress, and then you're short with your children, and then what? You file bankruptcy like how many hundreds of thousands of people did in 2008, and all they needed was an extra, on average, high percentage, $400 to $500 a month extra. We're not talking $10,000 a month. We're not talking a massive business. We're talking $100 a week. And we
Yeah.
could show you how to make $100 a week. And it's not that much to get started here.
Mm-hmm. So how did you specifically, because people are going to be like, wow, in a year and a half, she paid off $50,000 of debt and, and a mortgage. Like, how did she actually do that? So I want to kind of, give people some actual steps and tools as to what you really did in those. I mean, because you do have a background in finance and you had real estate, you were in your real estate and doing that as well. And that's where you
Mm-hmm.
had the mortgage, so you are a very bright person. So what, and again, those are all the things that we're told to do. We're told to invest, if you get into real estate, and you can do all these things. But when people think, wow, how did she do that in network marketing? What were your specific steps that you followed?
I did everything my mentors told me to do. I put out really rich content like this on Facebook, and I gave solutions to people. I picked up the phone and I said, hey, I have something, and it may not be for you, but I think you need to take a look at what it is that we have. No judgment if it's not for you, but everybody has 14 hours a day at home right now. Might as well spend that time wisely being proactive in your financial situation, since nobody has a crystal ball for their future job, for their
Mm-hmm.
future business at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day. I just saw what you popped up on here, action cures fear. Each step that I took expanded my capacity a little bit more. It gave me a little bit more confidence each day. If you were to go back and watch my first Facebook Live video ever, and I still have it up, because, and I think it's so important to keep it up, because people need to see what I sounded like and where I came from. I don't sound like the same person anymore. I don't talk about the same things. I didn't speak with conviction back then. I didn't speak any financial education. I wasn't able to offer value to people. I was trying to shove eye cream down people's throats. Tell
Mm-hmm.
me where the value is in that. Like, how many people right now are trying to shove product down people's throats? And people are like, I don't want to buy product. I need to figure out how I'm going to make money. Now, granted, they're very self-aware about their health right now, right?
Yeah.
What blows my mind is, but like millions of people still don't get it, because they're more excited and anxious and stressed out about buying toilet paper and water than they are about like health products, fruits, vegetables, Tylenol. Like, if you're worried about getting sick, why isn't the Tylenol shelf empty? Not that Tylenol is going to fix anything. I'm not saying that, but like the mindset of people is like, let's go buy toilet paper. Like, that should tell you the state of the general public right now in society. And if you are one that's subscribing to that, like, take a step back and look at that. Why am I buying toilet paper for a respiratory problem and the face masks don't even work, according to what I've seen on the news? Yet people do it anyway. And here we are offering a very sound solution. I'm kind of getting off point. Let me go back to answering your question. So, so as far as how I got started,
Yes.
it certainly wasn't going out to the store and buying toilet paper and water. It was being very, very smart about the money that I did receive, and the cash flow that I created. And I didn't go out and blow it. I went out and
Lost her for a second. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
I started to get a phone call. Okay. Oh, that's such a bummer. I don't know why you can't see me. That's not okay. All right. There's my name popping up. Maybe I'll come back here in a second. The principles of success that are taught in our business school, we teach budgeting. We teach, what you should be doing with your money. Instead of blowing it, you should be reinvesting it and paying off your debt first thing.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to.
Barb, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
That's so weird. Okay, maybe we should wrap this up.
Yes.
So let's do that. So look, if you want to have a conversation with Barb and I, if you want to see what it is that we have, we want to offer solutions for you. I'm sorry that I'm a black screen right now. I can't even see myself, but I don't know, maybe Mark Zuckerberg is tired of me like preaching a good word and he's blocking me or something. So anyway, I want to thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. And I'm going to let you go right now because I'll wrap this up. So thanks everybody for coming on. And if you needed some inspiration and you needed somebody who could give you a solution to taking back control of your life, that would be, Kimberly Bacher. So I want to thank her for being on. And as she said, these are times that we want to, obviously everybody wants to be sensitive, but I am committed every day to bringing valid content and solutions to my network, because I feel as a health educator, I need to do those things. I need to be a person of a source of credible information. And people who've known me my whole life know that I don't sugarcoat it. I tell people how it is. I've always tried to have great integrity with when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And that's what I wanted to bring to my network is possible solutions for you. And again, we're not saying that what we do is for everybody, but for that person who may be in that similar situation, who is desperate and who has a fire and really has a pain point. Or maybe you are that small business owner who is seeing their business, really kind of go down right now just because you've had to close the doors, and you're looking at, okay, how can I build a cash flowing asset instead of buying a cash flowing asset? Or, where I can do something virtually and leverage a system where I'm not the system, right? So that is the biggest attraction, I think, to the small business owner, is that you can cash flow in this right away and with very little overhead, very little inventory. It's not a traditional business, but for the business-minded person and the person who is ambitious, who has belief in themselves, and who has the courage to really step up in times of trouble, that's who is going to thrive right now. So hope everybody has a good rest of your Saturday. Hope you enjoyed my interview with Kim, and please let me know if you have any questions or if you want to chat. All right, I will talk to you all soon.